Hi, I'm Christiane Ferney and I was a Research Associate and Data Analyst on the ViaCulture project. Today this tutorial will talk through some of our vocabulary test data on the testing phase of our project. During this phase, we tested students on their vocabulary knowledge at three different stages. First stage, we tested their baseline knowledge. Then a ViaCulture lesson was carried out. This was followed by our second test of their vocabulary knowledge. And then the third test was carried out at a later date to see the consolidation of this vocabulary knowledge. This was carried out in classrooms across 4 countries. So this included Greece, Italy, Serbia, and the UK. And today I'll be going over data regarding the students themselves and the tests in the sample as a whole, and then looking at specific data from the countries. So, as I said, we're going to look at information regarding the students themselves. Before any testing, we obtained information regarding their age, gender, religion, country of origin, and language spoken. And we'll just go through this now. Here we've got information regarding the sample as a whole. We had 62 students, 42 of which were male and 20 were female, as you can see on the plot on the left. We also had a real wide range of age categories, as you can see in the plot on the right. Individuals ranging from the 11 to 13 category to the 41 plus category. However, we have this kind of greater concentration of individuals falling into the 18 to 21 and 14 to 17 categories. Then we can look at the country of origin, language and religion of the students. The map on the left shows the country of origin of the students of the sample, which is denoted in green. As you can see, we've got students from across the globe, from North America, South America, Asia, Africa, Europe and Oceania. However, we've got this greater frequency of students from China, as you can see from that darker green colour on the map there, and that's with 14 students. Then we can ask the students what their primary language was spoken at home. And as you can see from the table here, it was really diverse. The majority of students spoke Arabic and Chinese. However, as I said, there was languages spoken from across the globe of varying frequencies. We then asked the religion of the students, and again, you can see this is diverse. However, the majority of students were Muslim. Then we can look at the difference in gender and age by country. On the far left here, we've got Greece. We had 28 students in the Greek sample. 15 were male and 12 were female. One didn't give their gender. Their age was quite diverse. We can see the categories range from 18 to 21 to 41 plus. Quite evenly distributed between each of them, apart from 31 to 35 for some reason. In Italy, we had 8 students, 5 were male, 3 were female, and again, fairly diverse, 22 to 25 to 41 plus. However, a couple of students didn't give their age. For Serbia, we had 6 students, evenly distributed between males and females, with 3 each, and these were the youngest students, classified as 11 to 13 or 14 to 17. And then finally in the UK we had 20 students, with by far the majority being male, with 18 male and 2 female, and these fell solely within the 14 to 17 to 18 to 20 categories. So, as I said before, we tested the students at different phases, and we'll go through the test data now generally and then looking at specific countries. So here we have the whole sample on the left and by country on the right. And we have the test along the x-axis and the percentage of the test score along the y-axis. As you can see on the whole sample graph, the initial test score is unsurprisingly the lowest. And we can see that it's around, on average, 45% in the whole sample. Then when we get to test 2, we see this really rapid increase in test score, it hitting around on average 65%. So we have this real increase in score. And then when we come to test 3, it increases further, maybe not by so much, but we've got around 75% as the average score. Then on the right graph, we can look by country. We've got Greece in this reddy orange, Italy in green, Serbia in this blue, and UK in purple. As you can see, we have the similar pattern as you can see overall, but it varies slightly by country. In Greece, we have the highest initial test score, just above 50%. This increases to around 75% and then increases again, but not so much in test 3. In Italy, we have the second highest initial test score, and it kind of again increases between test 1 and test 2, and then it kind of plateaus more between test 2 and test 3. Serbia and the UK have the lowest initial test scores on average, but well below 25%. In Serbia, we see this really large increase between test 1 and test 2, increasing by over 50%. And then this increases further between test 2 and test 3. And then finally in the UK, we have this more steady increase. So below 25% in test 1, just below 50% in test 2, and then it increases again in test 3. Then we can look at the test scores by some of this information that we obtained from the students. This is looking at the whole sample. When we look at the differences in test score, we can look by gender and age. On the left here, we've got gender, female in purple and male in yellow. As you can see, on average, female test scores were higher than male test scores. We can see for females, they started on the test 1 on an average of 50%, increased by around 30% to 80% in test 2, and then increased, but only slightly between test 2 and test 3. Males started on average around 30% in test 1, increased by almost double to 60% in test 2, and then increased by another 10%. So we see a greater increase between test 2 and test 3 than in females in test 3. In terms of age, we can look at the differences between the test scores. There's a lot going on here, but we can group them into different themes. First of all, the most striking is the 11 to 13 category. As you can see here, we have the greatest increase in test score in the reddy orangey colour. They start off around, in this age category, around 20% in test 1, and this increases to above 80% by test 2, and increases again further by test 3. So we have this really rapid increase that then plateaus slightly. Then we've got, if we look at the 14 to 17 and 18 to 21 categories, so in the brown and green at the bottom end of the graph, we can see a similar pattern going on here. So the 14 to 17 category has the lowest starting test score at below 20%. This increases by almost 40% by test 2 and increases further by another 10% by test 3. We see a similar pattern occurring in the 18 to 21 category, but maybe at a more steady rate, with the average test 1 score at around 30%, the test 2 score increasing by another 20%, and then the test 3 score increasing by around 10%. And then we look at the older categories. The 22 to 25 category, the 26 to 30 category, and the 31 to 35 categories have similar patterns going on. We have a higher initial test score than the younger categories, and we have this increase into test 2 and an increase further to test 3. Finally, we have the 36 to 40 and the 41 plus categories. The 36 to 40 categories, again, you see this increase in score similar to the previous categories, from around 45% to around 75%. And then this increases again, but again, a slightly more of a plateau than the categories beforehand. the 41 plus category in pink, you can see we have a different pattern here than the other age groups. We have a average initial test score of around 60%, and this increases by around 20% in test 2. However, when we come to test 3, this decreases again by 10%. So we haven't got this increase, this gradual increase with test, as you can see in the other age categories. So after all of this, we tested we asked the students about the whole process and their satisfaction about the lessons and the whole method as a whole, to kind of see whether they were enjoying what they were doing and whether this has an impact on the test scores. So the first questions we looked at their enjoyment of the activities themselves, and these included 2 questions. All of these questions were asked on a Likert scale, so on a rank scale from 1, like strongly agree, to the other end of the scale, do not agree at all. And so as you can see here, we've got the scale on the right and the different shades. The first question was, did you like the writing and online activities? And as you can see, the majority of the students enjoyed the online activities, and there was no negative. It was only the minority that did not like nor dislike the activities. Then we had, do you like the drama activities? As you can see here, students largely either liked the activities a lot or quite a lot, so good reviews there. Then we asked the students about their participation in the activities. And we have the questions here. Did you participate actively in the lessons? This is slightly more varied than the previous responses, with the majority of students saying yes a lot, followed by quite a lot, then moderately, and then with some saying not so much. Then we asked the students, did you have a lot of opportunity to review vocabulary? Again, the majority of students said it yes a lot or quite a lot, and then some students said moderately, and then even less said not much. And then finally we asked whether do you have a lot of opportunity to learn new vocabulary, and then again the majority said yes a lot or quite a lot, and then with a few students indicating moderately. And finally, we asked the students their opinion on the effectiveness of the activities that they participated in. The first question was, did the writing activities help you remember new words? And as you can see here, the majority of students said, over 50% said yes a lot, and then followed by quite a lot, with some saying a moderate amount, and then the minority of students saying no, not much. And then the last question was, did the drama activities help you to remember new words? And the pattern seen for the previous question can be seen here, with but just slightly different between a lot and quite a lot, but the majority following in either of these camps. Some saying a moderate amount, and then the minority saying no, not much at all. So, as you can see from this tutorial, we had a diverse range of students within our project and being tested. And as you can see, this method can be applied to a wide array of students from different backgrounds, speaking different languages at home, and you can see this consistent improvement in most students, apart from in one case this age category, of the students' vocabulary. So it just shows the applicability of this method in a whole wide range of contexts to a whole wide range of students. Thank you.